Right, welcome back everybody to Friday night is onion night again. It's been a month. Can you believe it's been a month? And everybody's been busy doing sowings and just getting on with gardening. So anybody who's stuck with the onion challenge, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because this is turning out to be a real marathon, this giant onion growing. And at last, it's not the best, but look at this beauty. Hey, I've got a decent bloody onion and I am over the moon. This is by far the best one. And there's a Sharpie just to give it a bit of scale. I'm over the moon with this. And after sort of listening to Duncan, he was sort of suspecting that my grow lights weren't up to it. So I just brought them up to the polytunnel and let nature get on with it. And we're lucky down here in Cornwall, and we've had some fantastic weather, and they've just taken off. So I've got this brilliant one, which I'm over the moon with. This will be potted on soon. And I've got about nine or 10 that are this size. There again, it's going to be a cracking onion. And it's like I said to anybody at the beginning who took part, if you can persevere and and get this far, you will grow your best onion, the biggest one you've ever grown. All right. So anybody who's still with us, hats off to you. Fantastic. So that's me good ones. Right, let's get that out of the way. And what I'm going to do tonight is, I'll only do the one because I've got lots I want to cover, really. Everything onions. I'm going to show you my, what am I going to show you? My ones that were sown on Boxing Day. Some of them are I transplanted into individual pots. Some I left to bulk up just in the trays. That was Boxing Day ones. So we'll do those. I'll show you the plant that I got from John Salisbury. I'll show you the plant I got from DT Brown. And I'll also show you some sets that I got from, what's he called? Richard Taylor. Richard Taylor Garden sent me some radar sets in the autumn, and I've planted those outside. So we'll have a go and have a quick look at them. All right. So I'll just quickly show you these. These were sown on the 21st. So the shortest day last year, these were sown. All right. And they've only been potted on once in these little 7-centimeter trays. And I got to admit, I'm well happy with these. Perhaps it goes to show that I don't know what I was doing wrong at home under the lights, but something just didn't work. I can get germination great, but it's the roots, and I've got to learn and get better on the roots. And massive thank you to everybody who's tried to help me along the way. You know, I really appreciate it, and I've learned a massive amount just doing this. So let's crack on with this. We'll just do one of these. So yeah, in there, all I've done is compost mix. I've backed off the vermiculite a bit, so it's about 10-to-1 by volume now of the vermiculite. I've added in a bit of fish blood and bone and a bit of charge. And all I've done is put one of these size pots. I'm putting them into litre pots. Put a pot in. Put one of those pots inside. So we've got the shape that we need for one of these. I haven't emptied any of these out yet, so I'm really hoping they've got some decent roots on it. So we'll give it a bit of mycorrhizal in there. And we'll also stick some on the roots in a minute. Let's have a look at these. Please be good, please be good. Oh, look at that. That's telling me I probably should have done it quite a while ago, but that's better. That's better roots. And what I am going to do is tease these out a bit, because I've noticed I repotted some lettuce the other day for the third time, and I'd noticed that the roots had stuck in the size of the pot they were out of, or that they were in, if that makes sense, and they hadn't really spread out. So I've ripped them apart a bit. Come on, don't forget the mycorrhizal, Pete. You've done well so far. Bit of mycorrhizal on them. Into that pot. Just like that. I'm going to stake them now. There again, these hadn't been staked or anything. Stake in the corner. Couple of clips. Just because I like things looking neat and tidy. But my biggest takeaway is how strong they are through just being up here. They were in the passive greenhouse, which seems to have worked really well. I'll show you a picture of them in there. Right, so they'll sit in a water tray, soak up the water from the bottom, and hopefully they'll go away. And right in the middle of it, all will be good, and they'll grow away on. I think anybody who's got the no lights onions, you're the ones that are going to have the biggest chance of winning a prize. If you're not, well, yeah, because to be honest, if you've seen Duncan's, you've seen Jimmy's, you've seen Ian Wilson's, who else has got very Jenny, there again, doing a fantastic job of the grow lights ones. So I think the no lights, people could be in for a chance for that. All right. If you're not a really good onion grower, that's something that you might be able to get a prize with. All right. So that's enough of me yapping. Let's go and have a quick look at everything else. Everything onion. Right. So like I said, I've got 10 of these. These were under the grow lights originally, and then brought up to the polytunnel. And there's a Sharpie, just a bit of for a bit of scale. So I've got 10 of those. Let's crack on. I've got these DT Brown onion plants that I put into 9cm pots. They've been here till the beginning of May. Then they'll get planted out. So we'll see how they get on. I've got some John Salisbury plant. They're still in the passive greenhouse here inside the polytunnel. I lost about half of these. A lot of them just died off. Now that may be down to me and using perlite around the top rather than vermiculite, but I can't be 100% sure. But that's those. So we'll see how they get on along the season. And this is quite exciting. The onions that I put away for seed, I think that's a flower spike. If I can get a flower out of this and get some seeds, I'll be over the moon. Let's hope they all carry on and grow well. I've got some Bedfordshire Champion on the right and some Red Baron on the left. They were Boxing Day onions. These are the ones I transplanted out into individual pots. So we'll see how they get on as the season progresses. And over here, these are the seedlings that I just left in the seed trays to bulk up. And I think I'm going to plant those in little clumps, and we'll see how they get on. All right, just one more to look at. I'll soon be over with, I promise. And outside, I've planted out 6 of the onion sets that were autumn sown ones, and they were from Richard Taylor Gardening. So thank you, Richard, for sending that out to me. So it won't be long before I have got a lot of onions to plant out. Right, let's go and do a bit of onion news, shall we? Right, so that's it. A little roundup of all my onions, and as the sun's setting, I think you can see, if you're lucky, you can see the reflection of the sun on the polytunnel. I can't believe what just a fantastic day it's been, and it's just great, in it? Gardening this time of year with the sun and germination, and I love it. Anyway, onion news. First of all, I appreciate that everybody's busy, so thanks for keeping the faith and putting the updates up when you can. I really appreciate that. Duncan, Coastal Garden, North Wales, he's got to be a contender, isn't he? He's got some cracking onions, and he's just planted his out in a bed in his polytunnel. All right, so I mean, he's the one to watch if you want to learn. All right, he really is. Him and of course Ian Wilson. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's using the canner method with the canner food. So looking forward to seeing that. And of course, don't forget Rob. Rob knows what he's doing up there in his attic. Hey, he really does. And Jenny, plot 13, she's got hers in AirPods. I've seen that before, and it'll be really interesting to see how she gets on with that. Fantastic channel, and she does a brilliant job. She really does. So well done, Jenny. And Linda McLeod up there in the Scottish borders. She sent me a photo. It just said they're hanging on in there. So keep the faith, Linda. Keep them growing. You'll end up with something, I'm sure. I mentioned Ian before. It'd be nice to see an update from him, because he's growing his in the canner method with the canner A and B feed. So that'll be really interesting to see how he's getting on. And finally, Jackie Penn sent me a photo. She's got a bent one. We've covered that before, and I've given her a bit of advice of propping it up with something and putting a bit of bent wire behind the prop just to hold it up, and eventually, hopefully, that they'll straighten out and grow away. So keep going, Jackie. Doing well. Sorry if I've missed anybody, but as I say, if you've still got onions, I know a few people have dropped out and they've lost their onions, and that's a shame. But for anybody who's still got them, keep them growing, and you will grow a personal best giant onion. All right, so thanks very much for watching on just a brilliant evening. Really enjoyed making this one, and catch you all again. Cheers and gone.